So I now want to talk about Bryce Harper. Because Bryce Harper back in 2009 was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And at the time, Bryce Harper was only 17 years old. And everyone who covered the game of baseball at the time pretty much knew who Bryce Harper was. He was a 17-year-old kid that was hitting 500-foot home runs as a high schooler. He was labeled the next generational talent, the next great five-tool player. And people were saying Bryce Harper might have been the greatest prospect in baseball history. At the time, they were saying those things. They were putting him in the category with Alex Rodriguez, Ken Griffey Jr., and sort of giving him that LeBron James treatment back in high school. Remember when LeBron James was in high school and people said this guy might very well become a top 5 player of all time one day? That's how great he could be. I mean, the hype was insane. And the crazy thing is LeBron James somehow actually exceeded the hype and the expectations, okay? Now, the thing with Bryce Harper was he was obviously drafted #1 overall back in 2010, and he debuted for the Washington Nationals in 2012. He now plays for the Philadelphia Phillies. The question I want to answer today is, has Bryce Harper lived up to the hype? No. The answer is no. No, he has not. Bryce Harper, pardon me, not Mike Trout. Bryce Harper isn't even the best player from his own draft class. Right now, today, I'd take Christian Yelich, Manny Machado, Chris Sale, and Jacob deGrom over Bryce Harper. And all 4 of those guys, to me, project to have better careers than Bryce Harper. The player that Mike Trout has become is the player that people thought Bryce Harper was going to be back when he was in high school. Now, I will say this. As far as if Bryce Harper has lived up to the hype or not, it was nearly impossible for Bryce Harper to live up to the amount of hype that he received back in high school. That's why I'm not surprised he has not quite lived up to that hype. And to be quite honest with you, it is super duper unfair for people to have expected Bryce Harper to live up to the expectations that were put on his shoulders. And by the way, Bryce Harper's actually had a pretty solid career up to this point. It's not been a great career. It's not been a transcendent Hall of Fame career. You know, if he were to retire today, he's not a Hall of Famer, but he's been a Major League Baseball player for 10 years. He's been to 6 All-Star games. He could make a 7th All-Star appearance this year if he plays well. He's won an MVP award. And right now, today, I say Bryce Harper is one of the 30 best players in the world. And we could poo-poo Bryce Harper and say, oh, but he's overrated. He was supposed to be a transcendent player, not a transcendent player. You can do that if you want. But what I'm going to do today is appreciate Bryce Harper a little bit because, listen, anytime you're one of the 30 best baseball players in the world, that's a big-time accomplishment, and you're doing pretty well for yourself. Right now, today, Bryce Harper is 28 years old, and he's living the good life, I'd say, so far, okay? And by the way, Bryce Harper, like I said, he's 28 years old. He has a chance to play for another 10 to 12 years. His story is not all the way written yet. So the question is, will Bryce Harper, for the next 10 to 12 years, really put on a show? Will these start to be the really big prime years of Bryce Harper's career? Will he be able to compete for championships? Will he win multiple batting titles? Will he win multiple MVPs? My guess is no, but I'm interested to find out. And by the way, I will say, anytime Bryce Harper's on TV, I tend to watch, I tend to watch a game if Bryce Harper's playing because he's exciting. He brings great joy to the game. And sure, Bryce Harper hasn't lived up to the hype, but it was impossible for him to live up to that kind of hype. And I'm just interested to see how his career plays out going forward. We shall see. But has Bryce Harper lived up to the hype? No, he has not. But it was impossible to do so in the first place. Very, very sadly. That's how I feel, though. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God-blessed day, and I'm out.